LMPD's Chief of Police Jacqueline Gwen Villarroel has been placed on paid administrative leave. The mayor made that announcement late this afternoon in what appeared to be a last-minute press conference. And tonight, we still have a lot of questions. It's our top story here on the Night Team. I'm Eric King, in tonight for Doug Proffitt. Now, the mayor said the move was due to the chief's handling of an allegation of sexual assault within the department. We've got team coverage for you tonight. The Night Team's Taylor Woods has been talking to community leaders about the decision and its impacts. But we start with Alex Dieterer and photojournalist Aspen Hester detailing the allegations made and the new acting chief.
I have placed Chief Jacqueline Gwen Villarroel on administrative leave.
Louisville Mayor Craig Greenberg, facing multiple news cameras late Wednesday, explained why the LMPD chief, who assumed that role less than a year ago, is now on paid leave.
Following concerns recently brought to my attention regarding how Chief Gwen Villarroel handled a workplace sexual harassment allegation involving LMPD officers. I will not tolerate sexual misconduct in Louisville Metro government, including in LMPD.
Greenberg said Gwen Villarroel was not involved in the alleged sexual misconduct, and the investigation is surrounding her handling of the situation. Deputy Chief Paul Humphrey will be taking over as acting chief. The investigation will be led by this man, former FBI agent David Byer. Greenberg said Byer will be leading an investigation independent from Louisville Metro government. Byer is the same attorney who led the 2022 investigation into the numerous deaths at Metro Corrections and the 2020 investigation into the former TARP director for alleged sexual misconduct.
This situation is especially concerning, given that just last March, the United States Department of Justice raised serious concerns about LMPD's handling of sexual misconduct allegations.
In the scathing report, the DOJ found that, quote, LMPD does not adequately investigate officers accused of sexual misconduct and domestic violence, end quote, saying the LMPD units that conduct criminal and administrative investigations into LMPD misconduct promise thorough investigations, but the DOJ reviewed numerous cases where the investigators failed to gather or seemed to disregard evidence that could corroborate women's accounts. When asked about the federal consent decree, which has still not been implemented almost a year and a half after being announced, Greenberg said the city is taking it, quote, very seriously.
Acting Chief Humphrey and others on the command staff, along with members of my administration, put in countless hours every day of the week working with the DOJ on a consent decree. We take the findings seriously. We take reform and improvement to LMPD seriously. We take transparency and accountability in all of Metro government very seriously.
It's unknown how long Gwen Villarroel will be placed on paid administrative leave. In Louisville with photojournalist Aspen.
So Alex is with us now, and Alex, you already had your assignment for the day. You had to very quickly, on a dime, switch and get over to Metro Hall for this. So you sat through that press conference. What stood out to you most?
I think, and I touched a little bit on it too, but it's the timing of it all. I mean, we are currently waiting for this federal consent decree. And last night I was at the DOJ community meeting. It was the 5th one, and I believe the last one. And a lot of community members there, their main concern is this kind of internal investigation and internal accountability for LMPD as a department, but then also as LMPD officers individually. And so I think the timing just kind of corroborates everything that the consent decree is looking into and that we've been following for almost a year now.
Well, that was fast and solid reporting. Alex, thank you for your work. One thing Alex did mention is Deputy Chief Paul Humphrey is now serving as the acting chief. He's probably a familiar face to many of you. He's been with the LMPD now for 18 years. He created and leads the department's new Accountability and Improvement Bureau. Humphrey also serves as the lead officer working with the U.S. Department of Justice as the department and the city negotiate a consent decree, which we'll talk more about in a few minutes. Now, these allegations come as the department has been in the national spotlight and under federal scrutiny. Community leaders we spoke with tonight say the latest allegation raises a lot of questions. Taylor Woods and photojournalist Elijah McKenzie report. Those leaders also say there's still a lot of work to do to improve the LMPD.
Widespread concern Wednesday night after Mayor Craig Greenberg put Louisville Metro Police Chief Jacqueline Gwen Villarroel on administrative leave.
It's sad. It's disappointing. I think certainly for the officer, whoever the officer is that's involved.
Louisville Urban League President Lyndon Pryor is upset about the situation.
While I know we've got to protect the identity of, those who have been harmed in this process and those who may have been accused, I think that they can be perfectly transparent with regard to, the process that has taken place.
Gwen Villarreal has been the department's permanent chief for nearly a year. Pryor says the city has been demanding better policing and transparency for years.
To consider that this is happening somewhat right on the heels of them having received a new contract, it's really just frustrating from a community standpoint.
Louisville NAACP President Raul Cunningham says the allegation raises lots of questions.
I don't know if a formal complaint has been made.
Now that the mayor has appointed a special investigator, Cunningham is looking to see what comes out of the investigation.
I think we have to wait and see what evidence or what conclusions that investigator comes up with.
He's hoping this situation will bring better policing within the department.
This incident will bring about a change in that culture.
In Louisville, Taylor Woods, WHAS 11, 19 on your side.
Now, something we've alluded to now several times is these developments come as the LMPD and the city are actively working with the Department of Justice to negotiate that consent decree. Now, you might remember early last year, the DOJ released an 86-page scathing report into the department accusing the LMPD of engaging in unconstitutional practices and creating policies that violate constitutional rights. The DOJ said the department routinely mishandled sexual assault and harassment allegations made in the department. The report also accused the department of using excessive and unjustified force, conducting searches on invalid warrants, and unlawfully stopping, searching, detaining, and arresting people. According to the report, the department also unlawfully discriminates against black people. Right now, negotiations between the LMPD and the DOJ are ongoing. We've been told those negotiations could take anywhere between 6 and 9 months. Now, we should also point out, under Jackie Gwen Villarreal's leadership, the department has worked to address the concerns brought to light by that DOJ report. The department launched a non-fatal shooting unit. It rolled out new body cam video release policies and implemented work to create Stop the Violence community outreach. Now, that's a lot we've thrown at you. The story ends for us here tonight, but we've got a lot more legwork to do on this. So if you want to see that entire press conference, just head to our YouTube page. We've got the full conference posted for you there. The LMPD arrested 5 people and 1 juvenile today in connection to a recent wave of car thefts. They're Demontre Ford, Chriswan Lambreth, Desmond Carney, Deontay Bass, Truth Martin, and 1 unnamed juvenile. Their charges include receiving stolen property, fleeing police, possession of a handgun by a convicted felon, receiving stolen property, and reckless driving. Police say they recovered the stolen vehicles and several stolen firearms in the bust. Police remind you to remain vigilant, lock your vehicles, and not to leave anything valuable in your cars. Brooklyn Cemetery is offering a $1,000 reward to catch the vandals that desecrated the grounds. Take a look at this. You can see those marks all across the area. The cemetery staff says this happened the night of June the 5th. They say they're horrified that somebody purposefully came in and caused that level of damage. It's left multiple families distressed, as you'd imagine. We're told vandals got in through an old entrance that's directly off the road. Staff members are asking anyone with information to contact the Pioneer Village Police Department. An amendment to ban all churches with female pastors narrowly failed today at the Southern Baptist Convention meeting in Indianapolis, and one Louisville pastor is sounding off against the vote. Today, 61% of member churches supported that amendment, but it failed when it did not get a 2/3 majority vote. Despite the amendment failing, the convention still says in its official doctrine the office of pastor is limited to men. Last year, Fern Creek Baptist Church was thrown out of the convention for having a female pastor, and this year, a similar situation played out.
Now, the denomination, as recently as yesterday, removed a church because it affirmed that women could be senior pastor. However, the question of associate pastors is still an open question. So the doctrine remains, but it does not yet have the force of the constitutional amendment behind it.
Meanwhile, another Louisville pastor came out in support of that amendment. Emmanuel Baptist pastor Ryan Fullerton said the measure is not about preventing women from exercising their gifts in the church, such as children's ministries. However, he said the Bible is clear that the office of pastor is for men.